Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, however you found me. I'm just thankful that you've joined me today. Today we are working on our block, Young Man's Fancy. I've pre-cut the fabric today. You're going to need one 7-inch square in your light fabric, one 7-inch square in the first dark, one 3.5-inch by 7-inch in your light fabric, one 3.5-inch by 7-inch of your first medium. You're going to need two 1 3/8 inches by 45-inch strip in your second medium, so you'll need two of those, and then you'll need two strips 1 3/8 inches by 45 inches in your second dark. Again, you'll need two of those. You will need four 3-inch squares of your first medium, and one 3-inch square of your first dark. First thing they want you to do is they want you to do something called making 8. So you're going to draw 3.5 square lines. You're going to draw diagonal lines on one of your pieces. You're going to pin the 7-inch light square with your first dark, and you're going to sew 1/4-inch seam on both sides of the diagonal lines. You're going to press, then you're going to cut apart all of those lines, press the seams to the darker side, and you want to square it to 3 inches. So here I am sewing that process. In this spot, this is the 3.5-inch by 7-inch light and the 3.5-inch by 7-inch medium. You'll see here I did the same thing, making sure that I have the diagonals, and then you will sew on each side, and then you will cut those apart on all the lines, and then you're going to press them to the darker side. Make sure you square them just like you did with these 7-inch squares that you just did. This one is called Making 4. You're going to cut 14-inch piece from each of your 45-inch strips. You're going to lay out the strips. You're going to discard extras. So just so you know, there is going to be extras at the end of the day. And the first thing they want you to do is you're going to want 2 of the dark ones in the 14-inch lengths, and you're going to need your lighter one. This is in the dark colors. So your dark 2 strip in a 14-inch, and you're going to sew the 3 of these together. So it would be the dark 2, medium 2, dark 2. And then the second thing you're going to sew together is you're going to need 2 of your medium strips in 28-inch lengths and 1 of the dark 2 in a 28-inch, and you're going to then sandwich the dark one in between the 2 light ones. So that's the first step with these one. This one gets a little bit wonky as you're doing it, because this is not how I would make a 9 patch, but this is how they're instructing how to make a 9 patch. I'm trying to record this in actual time, so just so you can kind of see, the video is about, less than a half an hour. So in about 45 minutes, you really could do one of these blocks from start to finish. And once you kind of get the hang of it, you could do a bunch of batch sewing, and you could really get quite a bit done in an hour or less. So it doesn't necessarily take an hour to do a block, but this is a new block to me. And of course, I'm following their instructions as best I can so that I can demonstrate to you how easy they might be. And they honestly are. It's just a matter of looking at what they're really asking me to do and trying not to change it so that it works the way I would do it. You want to make sure that you're pressing, so I'm not pressing on the camera. I didn't cut these on the camera, so the sewing and kind of figuring some of this out as we're going is actual live. This is how my process works. And you see my eyes dart to the right quite frequently, and it's because I usually put a show on or a documentary or something, and so I have a tendency to look up, and that helps me to slow down because I have a tendency to want to speed. And I remember in home ec in middle school, there was the threat of getting a speeding ticket if you were running your machine too fast. So it's important to slow down, and so having something going helps me actually kind of slow down a little bit because I have a tendency to go too fast. Here we go. I'm pulling the other strip aside so that you can kind of see I'm cutting it to the length. I have taped a measuring tape to my tabletop here, and so I can easily measure without pulling out a tape. Somehow I have like 10 of these measuring tapes in my stash. I have no idea where they came from, but probably most of them have been gifted from one person or another. But yeah, if you can tape down a measuring tape onto your tabletop, I would encourage you to do so, because it's wonderful. Just make sure that it's straight. You do not want your measure tape to be crooked. So at this point, what you have left is a strip of 3 that is the light, dark, light. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut those into 3-inch sections, and you need 4 3-inch, basically squares is what you're doing. So square it to 3, trimming edges equally. So this is what your block is going to look like. I like to lay it out, get an idea of how to put it together before I start putting it together. And then you just make a decision, and I sew from one row at a time, putting a couple of pieces together at a time and until you get to where you need to be. Now, I didn't show me putting everything together, but I am just kind of showing you how I kind of batch sew to get this stuff together. Make sure you lay it out again. With so many pieces, it's so easy to turn a block just so or a square just so and mess it up. So make sure that you are double checking your work as you do this. And it is a joy to do. These have been fun blocks to do. I'm excited to start putting them together. I haven't decided whether I'm going to start putting them together now in rows or wait and do that all in one video. I kind of like the idea of having it done ahead of time, but at this point, I'm just doing them one a month. So here is the finished block, and I just think it is absolutely beautiful. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can see that my stuff isn't perfect, but I love it anyway. I hope to see you next week where we'll be playing Dress Up with some of my favorite moms of TV, Wilma Flintstone, Jane Jetson, and Molly Weasley. Love you all.